I'm here with Mark Nelson of Rio Grande, and we are going to make Mokume Gane washer rings.
That's right.
Tell me how to do that.
Okay, well, basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut a washer with a disc cutter and then fold that washer down on itself to create a ring.
Okay.
And basically what Mokume Gane is a Japanese alloy metal where layers of gold and silver or silver and copper are layered about 20, 30 times a layer. And they're made into billets, and then they're formed, and you get this kind of wood grain metal.
Yes, exactly. It looks like it's wood.
Right, and one of the hard things to make a ring with Mokume normally is that you always end up with a seam, okay, where you soldered it. Well, by doing it this way, there is no seam, so the pattern's continuous.
Gotcha.
So,
all right, let's make a ring.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Mark was telling me that we can make rings so easily that it's one of those things that you could probably make several rings just kind of in a sitting. Just keep going. You
can.
Yeah.
You can.
I'm going to take your word for it. We'll see.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a 1/2-inch hole.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to be the center of the washer. And so I lined up my cutter with that.
And what's this device that you just put it in?
This is a disc cutter.
A disc cutter?
And this is a 1/2-inch die. Now you do want to use a brass head mallet and some safety glasses.
And you lubricated that for?
I did. That'll extend the life of the punch.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
if you don't, you're going to dull your punch right away.
I'll stand clear.
Now the idea is to get this in one whack. Okay. If you do twice or 3 times, you could get off center on your cut.
Okay.
So basically, you just want to come in here and just go, just like that.
Okay. I think we got it.
And you'll end up with a washer. Not a washer, that's a little
Look
plug.
at that, it even went into the wood. That was a good one.
So now we have our first hole.
Okay.
Okay. Now what we want to do is going to do the outside diameter of the washer. So we need to center it on the 1 inch. To do that, we're going to use a centering die. It has a cone here. You fit that in there, and then you push down on it and you kind of wiggle it a little bit, and that'll center it.
Right. Obviously, you still have your safety glasses on.
Now this takes a lot more force because it's a wider diameter.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
Okay.
We're going to do the 1 inch. We got to lube it again. Make sure that the edge cuts.
Okay.
Now hopefully I can do this in at least 2 hammer blows.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, 3.5. But we have a washer.
Yeah, look at that.
And we're done.
And if you're making several rings, you could keep doing it.
Just keep on doing that.
Okay. So what are you
Now
going
what you
to
want
do
to do is if you want the pattern to show on the outside, you want to put the pattern towards the top of the ring mandrel like this.
Okay, so then as you bend it back, as you hammer it, it'll be on the outside. Makes sense.
And the best hammer I've found for this is actually a dead blow mallet.
Okay.
There's sand in there. And it's a nylon head, so it's stiff, but it's not going to mar the metal. And what I'm doing is I'm bracing this against my body. With these fingers, I'm pulling down on the ring as I'm doing it.
You're widening it.
I'm widening, I'm stretching out that inner hole. And I'm actually trying to compress the outside diameter.
Now, do you have to be like Mr. Muscles to do this, or can anybody do this?
It just depends on the thickness of the ring.
Yeah.
If you do 18 gauge, which is about 1 millimeter, it's pretty easy to do.
Pretty easy. If I just brace it, is basically brace the ring holder, and then you can just kind of keep going.
16 gauge, which is a little bit thicker, definitely some strength is required.
Okay.
Depending on your metal, you may have to anneal this with a torch to soften it.
Okay.
Like halfway through your process. Okay.
Look at that.
So
Already.
we're getting there.
We are getting there. Even
Eventually,
has a little dome already.
Yeah. Now see, this has been annealed. You can see the color change. And I've actually taken it down to about 6 3/4.
Okay, and you just said a moment ago that annealing is when you put the torch to it.
To a dull red and then quenching.
Okay.
So here again, we can take, you can see it moves so much easier when it's annealed. And we'll take it just a little bit further, probably to about size 8.
Yeah.
What I have noticed that the 1/2-inch center and the 1 inch outside diameter yielded about a 9.5 size. If the outside is smaller, like 3/4 of an inch, it's a smaller ring.
Okay.
So we'll keep doing that. Basically almost about an 8. And eventually it just won't go down anymore.
Yeah.
And at that point you take it, you flip it over,
Ooh.
and do it like that. Now what you're really going to do is stretch out this hole. Okay, this side's really going to stretch and get bigger,
Okay.
and this will kind of compress just a little bit. And you want to change your angle. Instead of hammering straight down, you tilt up and actually hammer down onto the mandrel. And that'll really stretch out the ring.
So you're pushing it down almost.
Exactly.
Hammering it down.
Right.
So you flattened it, now you're kind of widening it.
Yeah, now I'm really stretching it hard.
Always being careful with the fingers.
It does hurt.
Said a gentleman who's probably had that mishap before.
And one of the last ways, you know, I'll get it down pretty close. I'm already almost to an 8. When it won't go anymore, I actually switch to a brown-faced hammer.
Okay.
And actually tap the edge down a little bit.
Now, is that going to hammer it at all, or make any indentation, or texturizing it, or?
It will.
Okay.
It'll give you little facets. And do you hear it's kind of a thud tap? When I hear the ting, I stop, because then I'm thinning that edge out and stretching it. I don't really want to do that at this point. Right now, I'm just trying to make it more perpendicular. And just rotate it in your fingers.
After a while, you kind of get used to that sound, so you know where you are.
Oh yeah, and then to get this off, you just kind of like that.
Like that.
And you'll end up with that.
Now, how's the inside? Is the inside pretty smooth?
It's pretty smooth.
Yeah?
You'll definitely want to come in here with like a rubber wheel and polish that out. The edges are going to be really pretty rough. So what you can do is you can take some sandpaper and just sand the edges like that. And that'll true it up and make it really kind of professional looking.
Beautiful.
Now what's going to happen is if you sand that, you'll lose a lot of that color contrast. It'll all look kind of washed out. So what you can do is you can use a patina. There are some patinas out there that will just oxidize the copper and not the silver.
Okay.
So you'll darken the copper and still have that silver look to it.
So you can still have that kind of two-tone
The Mokume Gane look.
Okay. But without the rough parts, because you smoothed it out, which is terrific. Well, good. And you know, and what's nice is that same technique that you're using, as you see right here, you can use it with, you know, different metals. You can use it with, you know, make different rings, and you can do different shapes and different things to it. And actually, let me show you a couple of these here that you made. Look how that one you have almost like a little lip on that.
Yeah, that's actually the copper Mokume that we're working with. I had to put the lip on there because when you're wearing copper, the copper might turn your skin green, or the acid from the skin actually etches the copper out. So it's kind of a protective ring around that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to show you some of these so you can see the finishes that we have on some of these that Mark did for us, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's even on the side. It is fun.
It is fun. And you can do this with coins too, which kids really enjoy because it has the year they were born on them.
Look at this one, yeah.
And you cut out the center and you can make a ring with the date on there.
That's this one, isn't it? Because I could tell it has that coin edge to it.
That's
Can
a
you
quarter.
see that? That was a quarter that was cut out. That now you have a coin edge. See, now that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, that's fun. Well, thank you so much. You always have such interesting, wonderful things for us to work on.
Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Take care.
We'll be right back.